My way, or the highway, and in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
What's going on, everyone? Ryan Anderson, Jackson Muniz, and we finally made it. Couple vet scratches, little post delay, and now we started like 8 minutes early, so it's okay. Timing doesn't matter as long as we get this out beforehand. But Jackson Muniz out on the East Coast, Ryan Anderson here at Del Mar. Jackson, how's it going?
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm glad we were able to finally get together after you vet scratched yourself a few times, but you had to work yesterday morning to get off the vets list, and luckily you made it through with no issues, and here we are Friday morning talking about the cross-country PICK5.
Bold of you to accuse me of being the vet scratch, but anyway, we do have a cross-country PICK5 that you and I are both very, very excited for. 5 graded stakes between Saratoga and Del Mar, the Grade 2 Ballston Spa, the Grade 1 Alabama. Out west, we go to the Grade 2 Green Flash, the Grade 1 Del Mar Oaks, and the Grade 1 Pacific Classic. It's a fantastic sequence, Jackson. We have tickets. We have analysis to get to. Your quick thoughts on the sequence here.
No, I mean, I'm obviously fired up for it. Ever since I've known you, we've been clamoring for something like this to come to fruition, with as far as having the 2 premier meets of the year, really joining forces and putting together a PICK5 bet, and we finally did it. And it's all graded stakes with 3 grade 1s. I mean, what's better than that? 15% takeout, 50-cent minimum, and most importantly, the computer players don't, at least the big ones, don't really play these kind of sequences. So that's always a added incentive to get involved as well.
100%. Yeah, Jackson, you're going to crush this sequence. Now, obviously, we have a heavy favorite in Counting Stars in this sequence. Is that are you going to be pressing up a lot of these tickets? How are you going to kind of approach it? Are you kind of a one ticket? And obviously, we'll get to all the other legs as we get through, but you're going to have a horse that's going to be 1 to 9 in the sequence.
I'm treating it like a PICK4.
Nice.
We'll talk about the rest when we get there, but yeah.
Cool. I like it. Let's not waste any more time. We're going to dive right in. It's the Ballston Spa, Grade 2, going as race number 10 of 12 out at Saratoga. Mile and a 16th for the fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. I do have our tickets for the cross-country PICK5. Leg A, I'm going 2-5-6. Jackson going 2-3-7. Let's go ahead and start the conversation with the number 2, the Euro Invader from Ireland, who, Jackson, these shippers have done fairly well at the meet between Kensington Lane, Survey, and then I'm forgetting the one that just won a couple weeks ago. But the shippers have done well. You get Johnny V in the irons here.
Yeah, what was that horse's name? He was the number 6. He won the Saratoga Derby. He was Saez. I don't know his name. He went wired or whatever. Anyway, this is the race that I don't have a great grasp on. This is the one I kind of struggled with, and I kind of felt like I had to make a decision. Do I take a stand with the favorite in here, or do I take a stand against the favorite? I wasn't in love with Suggesta. She can win. I won't be surprised if, I'm knocked out in the first leg and then I'm just sad the rest of the day. But, that's what you have to do when you play these things. You got to take some stands, and ultimately I decided to play against her. And the 2 horses, the 1 horse I decided to throw in. She is the Euro. I honestly don't know a ton about her, but European horses beat up on our horses all the time. And if they're bringing her over here, it must be for a reason. So we'll see. I'll use her kind of, I don't want to say defensively for a 10-1 shot, but that's probably pretty accurate about the way I'm picking her.
Yeah, she was a late ad for me as well. I do feel like her 3 races to this point have been all improvements on the last effort, and she's certainly in a good vein of form coming over. Not sure exactly the quality of who she faced overseas out in Italy and Germany. Those aren't typically races where, I love the form coming in, unless your name is Rebels Romance. But other than that, seems to be coming in here fine. This was a late ad. I'm with you. And I know I did add the favorite Sagesta in here at 7-5, who you are going to try and beat. I'm going to press this one up for sure. So I'll play a ticket where I'm just kind of singling Sagesta. It feels to me, Jackson, like the class relief is going to be her friend here. This is a big drop. She's done nothing but face grade 1 horses in each of her last 5. And she's been close in each of her last 2. She's a 2-time grade 1 winner just in the past 365 days there. So I feel like she has the right kind of running style. She can be placed anywhere. So certainly going to be a press up for me and would definitely be kind of my lone A in here. But for ticket construction purposes, I want to include the 2 and the 5 because they're going to be on some tickets as well. We'll go into you to the number 3, Deep Satin, who you're going to throw in to your tickets as well, coming off the 6th in the Della Rose.
Yeah, she didn't run great last time. She owes me a lot of money, honestly. I think she was a horse Mike and I played in the Breeders' Cup betting challenge last year. We were all in on her, and she obviously did not run a race. Yeah. Look, last time she broke through the gate before the race starts. It's never a good sign unless your name is Magnitude, apparently. And then she was up pressing the pace, and that's just not her running style. It's not a good trip on the grass. It's especially not a good trip for her. So I'm willing to forgive that effort. I thought 2 back, she ran a lot better in the Just a Game. I think I can make a pretty strong argument she ran better than Sagesta did in that race when the pace was slow and she came from dead last. She got checked out way behind the field, rounding into the far turn. She lost a lot of ground and still closed really well to only be beaten by 3/4 of a length. And I think when we talk about the pace scenario of this race, we're all expecting the number 5, the Cassie horse. Is it N one more time?
N
one more time to be in front. But I think if you're Flavian Pratt and Sagesta, the horse you're most worried about is N one more time. And you can't let that horse have too easy of a lead because that's your main competition. And because Sagesta has the ability to go forward, I'm not saying they're going to hook up and go nose to nose the whole way, but I do think Sagesta has to at least put a tiny bit of pressure on that horse. And if they go a little too fast, I do think it can open it up for horses coming from off the pace.
I don't entirely disagree with that point. I would say for me, the horse that I think is most likely to go with would be the 8 Long Ago, getting the blinkers on for Bill Morey, and you get Kendrick Carmouche. I wonder how Flavian plays the break, because I'm with you. He's not going to let N one more time get away with an easy lead. So I wonder if he does try and be aggressive early, but maybe if Long Ago is kind of trying to push the pace as well, maybe Pratt just kind of takes back and sits right behind those 2 pace setters. So I am curious how it's going to unfold early. I don't think Long Ago is fast enough to win this race, but certainly has enough early speed to factor in the running. Next up, we'll stick it with you, Jackson. Number 7, Grayosh, the other Chad in here. This one likes to come from off the pace.
Yeah, I've never been the biggest fan of hers, but I don't know. I thought she actually ran really well last time at Monmouth. I know that an easier race than this one's going to be, but I didn't think she got some amazing setup or anything. And maybe the other favorites in that race just didn't show up. That's entirely possible. But if she's going to be 8-1 in here, she's going to be a mid-price. I think she's worth including on a horse that may have finally kind of turned a corner last time.
She very well could have turned a corner. She seems to like it up here at the Spa. Lost 2 back to Gimme Another, who was the next out winner. Grayosh, of course, came out of that same Eatontown race to win the Matchmaker out at Monmouth, where Chad is dominated. But Grayosh, good run in there, and was a bit more tactically placed, I would say, in the running of that, considering they didn't fly early. 2-3-7 for Jackson in the first leg, 2-5-6 for me. On to the feature on Saturday's card at Saratoga. It's race 11, also going as leg B. No surprise here. It's the grade 1 Alabama going the classic distance of 1.25 miles. Jackson, the conversation is entirely centered around counting stars. I guess the main news here would be that IRAD will not be riding, and it will be Jose Ortiz picking up the mount after IRAD going to be sidelined for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I was going to probably bet her next week in the Travers. How'd she run against the boys? So I don't see any reason not to just single her and move on in this race. I mean, if she shows up, she wins. I think it's as simple as that. She's the only speed in here. She's by far the fastest horse on figures. I don't have any doubts about the 10 furlongs. 1-5, and she wins.
I have absolutely nothing against it. Obviously, I singled her too. I don't know that we spend any.
If we're talking about it from a ticket structure standpoint, if you are against her, then that's amazing because she's going to be 1-9 on every single in the PICK5.
She's going to be 1-40 in the sequence.
Sure, exactly. And if you have a good opinion against her, this is the kind of spot to take a shot against, because if she does lose, the parlay, whatever you want to call it, multipliers are going to be ridiculous.
It is. So if she, for whatever reason, doesn't fire her best race, and you want to take a stand against her, that is the time. That's the Grade 1 Alabama. Now we're coming out to the best coast. It's going as race number 5. It's the Grade 2 Green Flash. I'm going 1-6. Jackson singling a 15-1 in the number 1 Monster. I'll go ahead and let you take it from here, and we're going to watch the replay as you give your analysis. I like this horse a bit as well.
Yeah, I love this horse. I think this race is kind of ripe for the taking. I don't think the West Coast, really any of the turf sprinters across the country, are that great this year. The best one we saw this morning was probably overseas for Wesley Ward Baccio, who won again for fun. And when I look at this race, there's just not a lot of speed. I mean, I guess Saratoga Special towards the outside is going to go. I've heard rumors from someone that's above me that she might not even run. I don't know how true that is. And if she does scratch, it's just going to help Monster even more. He is just so fast early on. You can see the way he tried to bottom out this field going 5.5 at Saratoga. Throughout this meet, turf sprints have been extremely closer friendly. Up really until this week. I think this week it's kind of finally flipped, but prior to that, it was.
I think with the rain, it maybe flipped, but 100%.
Yeah,
to this point,
prior to that, you had to be coming from off the pace. He tried to bottom out this field, didn't quite work. He's just got flat 5 furlongs, firm going, and all over him. I think he's going to thrive down at Del Mar, and if he gets in front, he's going to be really dangerous.
Yeah, as we watch the stretch run here, you can quite literally see him get to these, I mean, he almost saw out that 5.5, but you saw that the 5 furlongs is truly where he's at his best. He's that Gulfstream horse that goes the 5 furlongs. Yeah, it is going to be perfect. It's on that cutback. Reminds me a little bit of that horse Coppola, who was a pure 5 furlong sprinter, 5.5, stretched too far. Monster, obviously the hope, as you said, bottom out the field and take them all the way. Certainly the rail draw helps, and if Saratoga Special isn't in, I think that helps as well. For me, I got to go back to the horse as well that's going for the 4-peat in here in Motorious. I understand that the comeback race maybe left a little bit more to be desired in there. Obviously failed as the favorite that day, but that was such a clear prep. I mean, this horse is going to be running again in the Green Flash. That's always been the case. Technically finished second last year, but was impeded a bit. The works that he's had coming out of this, including that most recent work that's available on XBTV on August the 16th, was with Sorrento Sky, if I'm not mistaken, as the workmate. Let me make sure that I didn't have that incorrect. But I felt like he really exploded down the lane. He wasn't asked much. So I got to take him back in here. I don't want to single him because I do fear that Monster could bottom out the field, and Motorious was working with Public Assembly, so not Sorrento Sky, but Public Assembly last time out. He was also really sharp off the layoff. He was much closer than he usually is. I would anticipate him to get back to those typical tactics of being a little bit farther out the back because he has a wicked turn of foot late, especially loving this Del Mar course and being able to close going 5 furlongs here, which is not something every horse can do. He loves it. I'm going to go 1-6 and just kind of keep things moving. Anybody else in here, Jackson, that maybe concerns you at all?
I mean, not really. This just kind of feels like the perfect spot to take a stand with Monster. I think his main competition, they're all closers. They all like to do their best running from off the pace. I don't see anyone capable of running with him early on. Motorious, if he wins, great. I would never bet him. His last 3 races are not that good, and he's going to be bet like he's still a Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint horse, which maybe he is, but based on his last 3 races, he's not running that fast. I guess Mana Rose would be the one I would be interested in if I had to use an alternate, just because I think he'll get the jump on everyone else. He's another one I'm not really sure he's actually a 5 furlong horse, but he's the one that I guess I would use as a backup.
I would think he's the other one that might be able to factor in some of that early speed, but last time out in the Sensational Star, he did meet Flyover. Flyover is a faster horse. We'll see that one in the Del Mar Mile that goes as the nightcap. He does have speed, but I do think Monster is quicker, to your credit.
I don't think it's close. I think Monster is going to have a 4-length lead turning for home, and he is going to be on fumes, and you just have to pray he makes it to the finish line. And maybe he gets last in that final furlong. I don't know, but I know he's going to have a big lead.
Okay, as long as he doesn't do whatever that one horse that happened last year, where he just stopped on an absolute dime. But
Asmussen? What was his name?
Cogburn?
Yeah, he's going to do the Cogburn trip. And whether it works or not remains to be seen, but it's going to be exciting, and I can't wait to bet it.
You're going to have something to root for at the quarter pole. You're just going to have to hope that last quarter he hangs on. That's leg C of the cross-country pick 5. I'm going 1-6. Jackson taking a stand with the 15-1 monster. Leg D, you and I are in lockstep, but let's start the conversation with the number 9, Kensington Lane, who was one of those Euro invaders that came over for the Belmont Oaks. It took them wire to wire under Joel Rosario. I'm against this horse. I feel like she had everything her own way this last time. She's not going to have everything her own way this time. And she's going to have to prove it to me. Was that the same as you, Jackson, or did you have another reason to play against her?
Exact same. I think this is a 3-horse race. I don't think anyone else really has the credentials to win. I just kind of want to make her prove it again. I mean, that race was over in the Belmont Oaks. So it was over going down the backside the first time once they rounded the first turn. Once the other Euro backed off. You give a horse like this that kind of easy lead all by herself on that slow of a pace. I mean, she can kick home, obviously.
On that firm of turf, too. I mean, it was...
And I don't really want to hold it against her that much. Like, she still ran well. That she wasn't ever threatened at any point. I just don't know if I want to come back and bet her at 3-1 or even shorter when she was paid $48 last time. I'm not going to be surprised at all if she wins. I mean, she's probably going to be sitting second in here, I would think. That's what I would assume. I mean, I know she kind of inherited the lead last time, but she also was kind of quick overseas, and there's really not much speed in here besides her or Tam Tam. So I kind of expect those two to kind of just lope along down the backstretch, and I don't know. I'm just a little more interested in Tam Tam.
I'm with you. Now, the one thing I will say is, or I guess I agree with everything you said. They gave her an easy lead. What would the odds be on Fitzwright or Faithful Departed in here? I feel like neither of them they'd be in that 9-2 plus range. Like, they're decent horses, but I don't know that I don't think they're up to the level of Tam Tam. I don't think we'll get to Green Carrera in just a moment, but I felt like Kensington Lane is also meeting some tougher horses in this spot.
You could make that argument. I don't think I disagree. I don't know if I'd agree either.
Okay.
I think they're
phone in the background. All right, fair enough. We'll go to Carrera next. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I may end up using her as a backup, and I know I hate doing that, but I think having Monster as a single is just such a separator. Being against the favorites in the first 2 legs is a separator. Like, I could probably afford to use the 9 as well.
I was going to say,
not for as much as I will press up the 3 and the 4, but I do think it'll make sense to have some money running through the 9.
I do too, because if you're right on a 15-1, you're right on beating the favorite in the first and the third legs. I mean, I don't think you're going to dilute yourself all that much if you throw in the third horse in what you view and I view as a 3-horse race in here. Green Carrera purchased privately, from what it looks like, out of that last by Rancho Temescal Thoroughbred Partners. So I guess the fair assumption would be this horse is going to remain in the care of Phil D'Amato or Mark Glatt upon the conclusion of this race. Jackson, I felt like this is one of those where I would really love if there's some more defined speed in here. However, she has a wicked turn of foot, and I do think that she's going to be dangerous, even if they do go slow up front. I think Rispolly's the type that he handicaps really well. He might get this horse a little bit closer than she's been overseas. I think obviously the 2 main questions are 1, the pace, and 2, how she gets out of the gate in her first start in North America. What are your thoughts on Green Carrera here?
Yeah, well, as far as the pace goes, I mean, like I said, I do think when you look at this race, the 3 players, at least the way I see it, the other 2 both have speed. I don't think it's completely impossible that again, I don't think they're going to go on some kind of mission up front, but I do think they could speed it up a little faster than maybe we expect. And that would play into the hands of Green Carrera, obviously. She won at Royal Ascot and beat 30 horses, so she's obviously pretty good. Came right back in I believe it's a stake and finished second. Yeah. So she's got talent. She's 9 furlongs is no issue for her. She's the one that would terrify me from off the pace, so I'm going to use her.
100% agree with that. Yeah, beating 30 horses at Ascot, including next out winner Symbol of Majesty, who won a Group 3. Rosa Inglesa, who finished 3rd, won, I believe, a handicap herself. So a couple of live runners out of there from the top 3 finishers. And yeah, beating 30 horses by 2 lengths, you do have to be a real kind of horse in order to do that. So I'm with you on Green Carrera. I'm curious to see how this one is placed. I wish we had some video of her, even just kind of on the turf course on a nice like maintenance type work, just to see how she got over it here. But certainly a big threat. Rancho Temescal, they love to win these sorts of races. They certainly buy and purchase these horses to win in spots just like this. So I think a big threat. And now let's get to the horse that I'm not sure if this is your top pick in here, but it's certainly mine. The number 3.
I know you love it.
Coming off a dominant win in the Tepin. I bet her in almost all of her career starts. I love this horse on the turf. I'm a sucker for when Phil Bauer puts his horses on the grass too. There's that horse Buku. I think I bet that horse in all of her starts. This horse right alongside, but Tam Tam has done very, very little wrong. She really tries every race. And last time out in the Tepin, she owes me no more money after that. I know she was the favorite, but I had a pretty good day when she got the job done there. Look, Jackson, she comes in off that run. We've been talking about the pace scenario. I'm a little bit concerned that she could be too forward because I think she likes a target in here. I don't know what your thoughts are there, but it feels like she's run better when she's had 1 or 2 horses in front of her that she can go kind of chase and run down.
I guess. I don't know. I feel like that's always overblown. And I guess it's a better argument on the turf than it is in the dirt. Like, yeah, we don't need to go down that tangent. We don't need to go down that tangent. But, yeah, look, the one concern I would say about her most recent race is it was not a firm turf course, and it takes a ton of rain for Churchill not to be firm these days because they've done such a good job with the irrigation and all that and the drainage. And she did not run that well too back in the regret when, yeah, she didn't have an amazing trip, but she also was, I mean, you get beat 3 lengths. That's not insignificant. So that's the one little concern I have is maybe she is better going a tad shorter than this. That being said, there's very little speed. She's supposed to get a great trip no matter what happens, whether she's in front or just sits a pocket in second. That's a perfect trip for her. And she's run some really fast races. So I agree. She would probably be my top pick in here, especially if she'll be the third choice.
Right. Especially if she's the 3rd choice in here. She should absolutely get some win money on the win end as well. 3-4 for Jackson and myself in leg D. And now we'll move on to the feature of the weekend. It's the 1 1/4 Pacific Classic, Grade 1. Tickets are, or not tickets, but picks are up on the screen. I'm going 1-3-7. Jackson going 7-9. But we got to start the conversation with your morning line favorite. 5-2. I would imagine this horse gets bet down lower than that. Knightsbridge, Jackson chips in here, draws, I would say, pretty well to the far outside. What are your thoughts on Knightsbridge here, and what are your reasons for picking against him?
Yeah, I'm struggling what to do with him. I think I'm going to ultra play against him. I'm not going to be surprised at all if he wins. Like he just look. You can say what you want about that most recent race in Monmouth. You can say it's 15 points too fast, and he's still the favorite in this race. That's how fast that number was. And it's not like it kind of like he's run some really fast numbers before that too. It's not like it completely came out of nowhere. He was a really good second in the Met Mile. Like he ran huge that day too, contesting a fast pace. It was second to Nisos. Journalism was in their mix. Like those are really, really good horses. And I just kind of want to make him prove it to me at a short price, going the 10 furlongs. Given the amount of speed that's signed on in this race, like he's not going to make the front here. I'd be very, very surprised if he did. And even if he does, he's going to have to go way, way faster than he did last time. And it's going to be contested. So let's make him beat me in this spot at a short price, but very willing to acknowledge he's just way the horse to beat.
He's way the horse to beat, but he's kind of also been beating up on kind of bums. Not that Skippy Longstocking was much of a bum, but he had everything his own way in that 2-turn effort. Prior to that, I mean, yeah, he ran good in the Met Mile. I think without a doubt. Obviously, you're not going to beat a horse like Nisos on really any day. But in the Churchill Downs, I failed to really see an excuse for him. He had a horse to the outside of him in Imagination and just folded as they turned for home. He was terrible.
I know.
And then previous to that, I remember. Mm-hmm. And then previous to that, he's beating up on a bunch of grade 3 type horses. down at Gulfstream Park, and nothing against those horses, but this is a tougher crew. And I think that you and I, where we align, is with the number 7 Hit Show, who really just kind of dances every dance. Maybe he's not a true Grade 1 horse, but he is a Grade 1 winner. I believe a multiple-time Grade 1 winner. And I think, to me, Jackson, he's the most proven at 10 furlongs.
Yeah, for me, it was more just like I just don't see any way this pace is not fast, unless scratches happen and changes it, obviously. But you have Forge Steel has to go from the inside. My understanding is Finger is going from Japan. He's very fast as well. You got Full Serrano with only one way to win this race. Nicebridge won't be far. I don't think Navajo Warrior will be that far either. Like, there's plenty of speed to push this pace along, and I just trust him as the best closer. He shows up every single time. He's not going to wow you with these giant speed figures, but when he gets the pace that he needs, the pace that I expect to develop on Saturday in the Pacific Classic, he's really, really dangerous. And he's the one I would bet to win, and he's the one I'm going to be pressing up in this pick 5 as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on the point that he's just the most proven closer that I trust in here. Not that I trust a whole lot, but I do think this horse, he just finishes nicely, and he should get a setup here. I think I feel like if Knightsbridge, is too far off of it, that kind of puts him out of position of what he wants to do, because he does like to be close. But again, I feel like if he's close, he's probably going too fast. So I'm hoping it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And yeah, for me, Hit Show feels like the horse that I want. You mentioned the Japanese invader in Finger. Look, he is forward. He does have some good speed. Not sold that he's a made the lead type, or need the lead, I should say. And I'm not sure that they are dead set on getting to the front at all costs, but I do know that they'll be forward. I'm a little curious about him. I feel like 8-1 is more than a fair enough price to take a stab. I think he's going to play. Actually, this is a good question for you, Jackson. Do you think he's going to play higher or lower than 8-1 in a bet like the cross country pick 5?
I have no idea. I don't know what to expect from him. I hear a lot of good things about him. I hear that people kind of like him, but also he's kind of an unknown, being a foreign horse. I have no idea. No clue.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unknown, and really, I'm not going to be scared away or anything. I mean, if anything, you should be encouraged that Japan wants to send a horse like this over. But for me, the breeding's all American. I mean, it's Gunrunner out of Estilo Talentoso, who is an excellent horse in her own right. So for me, I got to take a little bit of a stab in these horizontals, especially if I'm playing against Knightsbridge in this spot. So for me, I got to use Finger. And before I turn it over to you, Jackson, talk about the number 9, I got to give love to the filly Almond Joy. Trying them in here. Look, last time out, she kind of finds a little bit extra at that 8th pole. And I think if that race was a mile and an 8th last time out, I think she wins the Clement L. Hirsch. But the mile and a 16th might be a little too sharp for her. I was talking to some of the owners. She said they said that she came out of the race so well they didn't want to wait for the Zenyatta. They got to give her a go here. This is the only race that kind of came up that makes any sort of sense. And with Nisos not in here, that kind of felt like maybe that encouraged them a little bit to run in here. Look, it's a mile and a quarter. She's going to get a hot pace. I don't know if she can win. I think a lot has to go. I mean, obviously she's 20-1. Not to say the obvious, but a lot has to go her way if she's going to upset the entire field. I think she can finish in the superfecta, though, and I got to use her just because she's going to play a lot higher than 20-1 in those horizontals. So 1-3-7 for me, Jackson.
Look, she's going to be 50-1. I'm not going to talk you off for her.
Navajo Warrior, an interesting one that I'll let you kind of round us off at, has switched off Lasix in the last 2 grade 3s where he has gotten the job done on the front end. But he can come from off of it, and I would expect with Forge Steel in here, that's going to be the one of the 2 Saffies, or the one of the 2 Saffies that are going to be forward in this spot. I assume you agree with that, Jackson.
Yeah, I think so. And I think there's a chance he can get overlooked in here because he got such easy leads last time, and he absolutely did. Make no mistake about it. Both of those races were over very, very early on. He took advantage to his credit and ran really fast numbers. But also, as you said, he's a horse throughout his career who's been very, very effective from off the pace. It's not like he's a need-to-lead type by any means. You just have to look at the race 3 back when he ran down when you ran down Gosker. Gosker's a pretty good horse on his best day, and he was able to win from off the pace in that spot. So I'd expect him to not be too far back. I think he'll be mid-packish in this race, and I do think he's dangerous. He's gotten really, really good as of late, and look, we'll see about the Mountain Quarter. He has won in it before. I'd probably just be 7-9 in here. I'd be pressing up his show, but I'd be using a fair amount on Navajo Warrior as well.
I don't hate it. I do think Navajo Warrior has gotten good at the right time. Safi has a win at this meet already with Eunomia in that Clement Elhurst that I mentioned before. So certainly something to pay attention to. Navajo Warrior can certainly come from off the pace. Micah Husbands was aboard for that ride as well. Leg E, I'm going 1-3-7 in the Pacific Classic. Jackson going 7-9. We're trying to play against Knightsbridge. Jackson, recapping our tickets. I got an $18 ticket and you $6. Very affordable for the people. You can make it $9 and just throw in Kensington Lane if you felt like it. But recap the ticket one more time that you'll be playing this Saturday or tomorrow, I should say.
Well, I don't have any names pulled up, so that's good. First race at Saratoga is the Bolton Spa. We're trying to beat the favorites. I know that the favorite is Suggesta, and I know the second choice is And One More Time. We're going to try to beat them both with the European shipper as I stall. The European shipper is number 2. I don't know the name because it's not loading.
That's all right.
It is Summit Uplands. Going to go Summit Uplands, Deep Satin, and Greyosh. Trying to beat those 2 favorites in there. Glad we made it through. Yeah, I'm not trying to beat Counting Stars at all in that second leg. I don't see any reason to. And yeah, she's supposed to crush that field. And like we talked about, I love Monster and the Green Flash. He'd be my play of the entire day, anywhere tomorrow. I don't think there's any chance you're getting 15 to 1 on him. I think it'll be about 5, but maybe that price kind of holds up a little bit in this kind of bet where the price will be hidden for a while. He's going to be in front. Well, I don't know if he's going to hang on the last furlong, but he's going to be in front. It's going to be amazing to watch. And then we're going to go to the Del Mar Oaks, and I'm going to go with Tam Tam, the number 3, and Green Carrera, the 4. Like we talked about, I may throw in Kensington Lane a little bit too for lesser dollars. Like this is a ticket I'll press up quite a bit. I'll be putting a decent chunk of change into this. And then last race, going to go Hit Show and Navajo Warrior.
There we go. I like it. $6 brought to you by Jackson Muniz after an excellent stall job. I'm going to use 256 in that first leg. I'm going to press up Suggesta for sure. I do think she's a pretty likely winner, but that race could fall any number of ways. We talked about the pace scenario in there. In that second leg, I'm not trying to beat Counting Stars either. We didn't really talk about the price that we expect Monster to be, but seeing is Monster's a bit of an unknown for maybe some West Coast people, and you have a horse like Notorious, and you have horses that are running, those 90 buyer speed figures. I don't necessarily think it's out of the realm of possibility that you get double digits on Monster. I don't think you're going to get 5 to 1. I do think that you say 5. You're sticking. Okay, sticking with 5.
He's the clear speed by a mile. The computers are going to.
He is. Well, okay, maybe we'll find out, I guess. But I do think that you might get a little bit better than 5 to 1. Maybe not in the win pool, but maybe horizontally speaking. Next up, I'm going with the same Green Carrera and Tam Tam as the top pick. I'm not going to toss in Kensington Lane. She can beat me tomorrow. And then 137, Almond Joy, Finger, and Hit Show. Although you made a really good case for Navajo Warrior, so if I felt like spending the extra $6, I could add that one in. Jackson, thank you for joining us. Quick heads up, these tickets will be available on Del Mar and I think Naira Betts Twitter accounts maybe, or they'll at least be reposted or something like that. So we will be promoing this, but keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you for the next one. For Jackson Muniz, I'm Ryan Anderson, and peace.